Yeah. So wonderful. Wait a minute, Julie.
I'll do if needed.
God, that's so cool. That is so cool. Yeah, I love this place. Hey there. Hey there. How you doing? Today is June 19th, 2022, and we are here at the Beverly Heritage Center to celebrate a new exhibit. Please come in. You gotta come, please. You gotta come in. So this is the lady who's the inspiration for all of this. This is Lavata Williams. I know you may not like it, but she is the one that put together the family reunion, the first one we had. But you wrote this wonderful story about Margaret Booker. And I just thought, how could this woman who was enslaved in 1863 in the middle of Civil War fighting go with 5 children to Ohio? How could she do that? And for 40 years I wondered, but I didn't have time to do anything about it. And then remember, you came over to my house in June 2016 for 2 weeks. And I thought we were going to be talking about genealogy the whole time. No, we didn't. I have my book. I finally put all my stuff in binders. I said, she can't see my mess. All this stuff in binders. And she came, and she looked at the binder. She put it down on the counter. Wait. You don't know. We were going to be talking shop, and I was all excited. Yeah. So I'm sorry. No, because
you definitely, I think, won the award for most miles traveled today.
Oh, okay. Yay, California.
People here today, and I just think that this is something really, really, really special to be a part of. So I really wanted to thank you all so much for coming out today for something that's in many ways been in the works already for at least, I would say, 3 years. I'd actually like to introduce everyone to Adam Oakers. He's our AmeriCorps member serving with the Appalachian Forest National Heritage Area as a preservation associate here at the Beverly Heritage Center. We could not have done this without a mini grant from the West Virginia Humanities Council. A big round of applause to them. This is the sort of thing that this is exactly what they're here for and what they do. I see Mr. Philip Lee back there. A very big round of applause for them. The way we did our interpretive panels, which you'll see momentarily, is we wanted to have voices of people of color included in this exhibit. This was something that was very important, that it wasn't our voice speaking on behalf of someone else. So we also have Kathy Marshall here, who, those of you who follow the Heritage Center for the past couple of years, you were kind enough to do a live stream with us 2 years ago, I believe it was.
Yes.
Still at the tail end of lockdown, when we were trying to get things back to normal, and it was just fantastic chatting with you about all of your family history research. But Ms. Marshall is a descendant of a woman named Margaret Booker, who was an enslaved woman living in Beverly in the mid-19th century. And it's for this reason that we would like for you to be the one to inaugurate this exhibit today. There we go.
Okay. I've never done this.
You're fine. All right, here we go.
Yay! Okay, we're coming. Wow. Freedom and emancipation.
We need to take a family picture.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we definitely get.
I definitely want to come out and meet you all too. So.
Oh, wow. Who are these people?
He's like, they're gonna be here today. I'm like, apparently.
Wow.
6 months old. He moved to Mount Vernon, Ohio.
They were living here and then moved to Mountain.
No, they went from Beverly to Martins Ferry, Ohio, to Barnesville, Ohio.
Okay.
And that's where they settled. And then he got a job in Mount Vernon when she was 6 months old. Well,
Did he like education? Was that important to
Oh.
him?
to learn to read was the most important thing in the world to him because the story. You want me to tell the story?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. His sister lived with him because the brothers had to support the old maid sister, and she used to slip my great grandfather into her quarters and taught him how to read when it was against the law. So reading was very important for all of us to know how to read. He didn't care if they were 40 years old, they all had to finish high school. All 5 of his children finished high school.
Yay.
And that was in the 18s, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've only got to briefly look over the exhibit. That's but I'm interested in the story.
So what's this all about? What?
Board, when Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, and Mr. Early helped, because some of her children had been farmed out to other places. Mr. Early made sure that she got all her children, and he gave her a buckboard, and they traveled, you know, north. And Grandpa said they slept under the buckboard at night and traveled during the day.
See, I know, knowing West Virginia's history, even with the Emancipation Proclamation signed, they didn't quite follow it at first, but that's awesome. Mr. Early did that. I mean, that's fantastic.
We often wondered why they went to Barnesville, which was just a really small area. And then it's been about 4 years ago that we went there. And so I said, let's go to the graveyard.
Right.
And we saw all these, some of them were that tall, weren't they?
Yes.
Earlies.
Yes.
So we're assuming that's why she we don't have no proof, but we're assuming that's why she moved to Barnesville, because there would have been some people she knew about.
The elders told you this in what, 82 or something? And for a 1983 family reunion, she typed up a booklet with all the names, you know, the marriages and the dates and the places that you're supposed to do.
Hours and hours at the Ohio Historical Library. In fact, they used to give you lessons and they taught you how this, as she said, this was before computers. This was, Mr. Early's wife had a son, they were both born the same day. And Mr. Early named his son Joseph, and he named Grandpa Job. But when Grandpa was free, he changed his name to Joseph. Reading and finished school. Well, she finished high school, but she was an avid reader, clear up until she died. Okay, then the English teacher told them they had to read a certain book, which she had already read a couple years before and said it was one of the worst books she ever read, and she wouldn't do the report. I can't imagine that woman back there being that bold, you know. While she was in bed written like this, because the last 3 years she was in bed, a reporter came because she'd been the cook at Malabar Farm, you would know about that. But anyway, they came down to interview her. On the wall, I had her graduation picture of her whole class. And they thought it was Mother, and I said no, and I told them the story. So they went to Mount Vernon, to the Board of Education, and said, don't you think it's time to give her her diploma? So they came to Columbus, and it went viral all over.
It did. It was on Jay Leno's TV show.
Yeah, about this woman at 106.
I had a good friend, Robert Taylor. He was from the Randolph County area, and his family. He is a person of color as well. And he's like, Philip, I'm gonna make some maple syrup. I was like, okay. And so it involved some sap, some beer, and a fire. I was really interested in making the syrup process. I like Robert a lot, but I think it was just the idea of being around a campfire and drinking beer, and so we were able to combine the two. And that was probably sometime in early 1990, 93, and it's been pretty much an annual event since then.
Oh, okay.
Is it really a business? I don't know.
Well, it's a
It's
hobby.
it's a hobby that has to pay for itself.
There you go.
I
Sounds
know it's
good.
expensive when you buy it.
It is, because it's very labor intensive.
Yeah.
It's, during, shortly after emancipation or before, maple syrup was used as a tool of economics and a tool to break the economical slave hold of sugar plantations.
Okay.
The idea was to flood the market with syrup and sugar from the New England states in hopes that it would put the Caribbean slave plantations out of business. We were no match for what was going on in Jamaica and some of the Caribbeans, but it was a good idea. But however, we were blessed that the Indians were able to share that information and knowledge with us, because a lot of us have sweet tooths that can't be satisfied. But,
And during World War II, when you couldn't get sugar, it was really popular.
it was real popular. That was our local source of sugar. And tomorrow being West Virginia Day, the sugar maple is our state tree. So we should
Okay.
be very respectful of
Oh, cool.
the maple tree and all the products that it gives us.
Excellent.